Well, it's time for me to become a whirlwind of charisma as I start the podcast. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. I am Devon, and I'm joined today by my friend Abigail Thorne.
Hello.
And no Alice.
Mum's gone away again on another business trip and left the kids alone.
That's right. We're rounding out our little trifecta here. We had the Alice Devon episode, we had the Alice Abi episode, and now it's time for the Devon Abi.
Completing Kill James Bond when the cat's away, the mice will play.
We were all going on holiday in July, and it's fine. It's okay for us to do
Kill
that.
Kill James Bond summer vacation times.
Some of it was stone leave, some of it was just leave. Mm-hmm. And as for poor old Alice, she's not even doing leave. She's mostly working. Yeah. She just isn't able to record.
Mm-hmm. But as is tradition, when it's just me and Dev, Alice has left some chicken nuggets in the freezer for us. And we are going to watch an anime film. It's Dweeb Zone, because Alice refuses to go entirely Japanese. So it's down to me and Dev to be weebs.
Yeah. Because I think this is a really good film, and it's one that I really wanted to talk about. It's one that I would have an uphill struggle convincing Alice to watch.
Yeah,
so
even though I think she would like it. In fact,
I think she would like it.
Yeah, in fact, listeners, I would say that it's an anime film. It's called Perfect Blue. If you've never seen any anime before, and you're one of those people that's just like, oh, it's just for kids, or it's like cartoons or whatever, I would recommend checking this out. I would pause the podcast and go and watch this, because we're about to spoil it, first of all. But also, it's very much just this could be a really good live action film. It just happens to be animated. It's just a really good grown up animated film.
That's actually why it's animated. It was originally intended to be
really
a live action film, but a few people pulled out at the last moment, so it ended up being made as an anime.
That's so interesting. They're oh man, people pulled out. Let's do it in a much more difficult and time-consuming
Fine, fuck you. I guess we'll draw it.
Instead of just waiting a couple of months and recasting, we'll just hire a shit ton of people to fucking draw this by hand.
That's fucking right.
That's great.
This is Satoshi Kon, who is a master who sadly died quite young, age 46 in 2010. This is one of his earlier films. All the rest of his explore very similar themes, but we open on an idol group, because this is Japan, and this is Japan of the 90s. And what's huge in Japan of the 90s? Women singing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's huge in Korea now. It's huge in Japan in the 70s.
Yeah, girl pop.
This is a group called Cham. There are 3 members, one of whom is Mima, who is our main character. And she is looking to sort of leave this space. She's done being a pop idol, and she wants to try something serious.
We hear some of the paparazzi and the fans discussing that there's a rumor that this is going to be Mima's last show, and that she's going to be an actress now. We go backstage, and there's a lot of fun chaos. This film has loads of really nice little details about what it's like working in acting or any kind of live entertainment thing. So the changing room is full of chaos and people running around, and they get sort of summoned on stage. And we see it's also really nice about taking little moments to show us Mima's state of mind. So we get this little moment where she's just breathes for a second before going out onto the lights of the stage, and then we get the title card. So it's really cool.
And what's also noteworthy is that this is not even a particularly huge performance. This is Mima's last performance, but it's sort of just, it's not on a stage really, it's just sort of somewhere.
Yeah, it's maybe 100 people there.
Yeah.
A lot of them are older men, which I noted. I didn't really know whether that was true to life or not, whether that's just something for the film, but yeah.
Not entirely sure. There are some dudes in the audience that are going entirely mental. Just a group just screaming Mima over and over again.
Yeah.
And we get our first shot of a guy who I'm going to refer to as the weirdo, because they never really give him a name until the final act.
I called him that too in my notes, yeah.
Yeah, just a strange bloke who's...
Elephant Man looking motherfucker.
Yeah, Satoshi Kon has this thing, I don't know how much of a problem it is, but he loves to put people's eyes slightly too far apart when you're supposed to think they're weird. I don't know how much I feel about that.
He's on some James Bond shit. He's facial deformity shit. And he's got weird scraggly teeth and stuff. But he's there just being weird and hanging out. As this concert's happening, we keep cutting to another place in time, and it juxtaposed this Mima just going to get groceries and just living her normal life. And it's really nice actually that we get that juxtaposition of, yes, there's this very like glamorous persona, but then actually she's just like, feeding her fish and shit. I really like the way they humanize her just really early on, like without even a lot of dialogue, just like showing us that like, oh yeah, she's a pop star, but like she's also buying milk and stuff. It just really makes her sympathetic.
Yeah. And we see her room and it's like it's not particularly impressive.
No, she's not like
it certainly
rich.
Seems to be like a bedsit that she's got.
Yeah.
I suppose that's Japan. She perfectly dodges a thrown can mid-dance, which I do think is very cool impressive of her. Yeah. She sort of pirouettes away from her.
There's some dudes there who are like there to disrupt the show, basically. They're like, drinking and throwing stuff. Also, the head of this little gang of lads is Guy I Love to Hear, Matt Kermit Miller, voice of Tenchi Muyo. So always good to hear my boy Tenchi out and about causing trouble in other people's productions. I was like, I know that. I was like Leonardo DiCaprio pointing with my ears, just like, that was Matt Miller.
Oh shit! You watched this one. I
watched it dubbed, and you watched it subbed.
I watched it subbed. In fact, to be fair, it took me longer to find subbed. I was starting to panic quite bad.
Some of the lines later on about the internet are like really, really funny in the dub analysis. So yeah, at the end of the so these guys try and start a fight. It's sort of the audience are like not taking this. The audience like boo them and try and throw them out.
Yeah, the weirdo from earlier sort of gets involved to put himself between Mima and these guys.
He fights and he like punches them.
Yeah. He starts throwing hands, but he gets hit mostly.
Yeah. And Mima stops them. She gets on the mic and she's like, "Hey, like I just want everyone to have a good time. And also I've got something to announce." And she kind of like sobs a little bit, and her bandmates are just like, "Yeah, this is Mima's last performance with Jam, and she's going to be an actress now. We're really happy with her." The crowd are sad. We also get this moment where Mima smiles at DeWeirdo, and he like really smiles back. You can tell this like really is something special to him. And he seems to take this news of her retirement quite hard as well.
Yes, he's very upset about it. As she leaves this, she keeps getting given like letters and things like this on the way out. She's still in sort of like crowd mode.
Fan mail.
Something I really
like it's so inspiring that he like don't voice train all this like horrible shit.
I mean, that's sort of what I was going to talk about, because she gets home and she does something that I think that we've both done in our own time, which is gently rebuking fan letters. You're just like reading it and it says like "sing for us forever," and she like smiles and goes, "Well, I can't do that." Like she's reading these letters and like doing little tiny comebacks in her own time, which
There's also a really nice detail when she gets home that shows us she's so busy her normal life has been neglected because the cheese in her fridge is moldy and her fish haven't been fed. So like Cham keeps her like so busy that she can't do this. But she takes down the Cham poster in her room and like puts it away gently. She's like, well, time to move on, starting something new. And one fan letter she has says, "I like looking at Mima's room. I always click on that link." And she's like, "I don't know what that is because this is the 90s and nobody's heard of the internet."
Yeah, I fucking love it. I love that she has no idea what the internet is.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Just doesn't do it.
She gets a fucking fax at this point. Somebody faxes her a weird note, which isn't translated in the dub. So did you get a translation of it in the sub?
It says "traitor" all over it in different fonts, like sort of cut out of a newspaper type.
Oh shit! Okay.
Fonts. Yeah, that's a really operative thing that they probably should have told you.
Yeah, I mean, I gathered it wasn't good. Like,
yeah, no, it just says "traitor" over and over. Something else that I really enjoy is when she's at home, she fields a call from her mum, and her mum does not understand why she's quitting this to pursue acting.
Yeah.
Because her mum's just like, "We love the singles, we always buy like 20 of them," and she's like, "Bro, it sucks to make the singles. Yeah. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I want to do this."
So then she's so the vibe is that she has got a part in a really big TV series. You're not at all relatable. And she's sitting on the set with her manager, one of her managers, Rumi. And she's like, what is this like weird note? What is a link? What is the internet? And we get these very funny lines where like her manager, Rumi, is just like, well, Mima, it's the internet.com. It's a place where URLs serve website domains, and you can click on the links and it'll take you to things. And she's like, does that make sense? And Mima's like, yeah, what? So Mima's Room is a website, like mimasroom.gov.biz/mimas.room./com. It's obviously some kind of website, whatever.
I agree with Devon.
Alice, thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say. I'm glad you came back onto the episode just to say that. I'm just kidding. This is the bit where I cut the episode off and I tell you that if you want to hear the rest of it, I'm holding it hostage over on the Patreon, but at the lowest tier, so not that hostage. Sign up today for as little as £5 a month. That's right, £5 a month, which is getting to be really, really a solid deal nowadays. Patreon.com/KillJamesBond. I'll see you there.